We're joined by Jim Liston. He's the Director of Sports Science for Toronto FC of Major League Soccer, although Jim has a long history with Southern California, especially with the LA Galaxy. Welcome.
Joe, it's great to be here, and just in Los Angeles 2 days ago. Excited to be in Baltimore, though, to present on kids and youth development, my passion of mine.
And you know, that's a very good topic, especially with the youth system here at Cal South and the amount of players that are competitive in Cal South, not only at the youth level, but into the the travel balls, we call it.
Right.
Can you overtrain?
You for sure can overtrain, and I think, I used to say, hey, try as many sports as you can as you're growing up. Maybe that was true 20 years ago, but nowadays I think, kid finds a passion for the sport, they're going to stay with it, and they stick with it, which is wonderful for skill development, but not necessarily optimal for athletic development. So we have to make sure that in the training that we're measuring or quantifying the amount of work the kids are doing on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, and then also make sure we alter it.
Yeah, and we know all about working out. Kids work
Sure.
out, kids train, but nutrition is such an important part of the whole balance of the structure of an athlete.
Yes.
Can you talk to that point?
Yeah, and I think the first thing I like to talk about is immediately after training or after games. The reality is that our kids go to these tournaments and they have 2 games in a day and then 2 games the following day, to make sure they get something that breaks down quickly, a food that they're familiar with, that tastes really good within 30 minutes after the game or training, and then again 2 hours after that if possible, I think is key. And then the second one is hydration. Easily not to hydrate, right?
Right, absolutely.
Carry a water bottle around, make sure that you stay hydrated. And then third, I go fruits and vegetables. And what different colors? I try to explain to the kids at the youth level, even at the pro level, is a red fruit or vegetable is different than a green, is different than a yellow, different than a purple, because they're going to have different vitamins, different minerals, different antioxidants. So make sure you have a colorful food plate.
Really? So, okay,
Yeah.
get an abundance of everything. And training for a pro athlete compared to, let's say, a 10-year-old, a 12-year-old, similar or different?
I would say much different.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the amount of volume for a pro athlete, we really have to quantify that, because this is how they make a living. They're men, they're muscular, so the amount of stress on their body is really high. And the competition in a 90-minute match for a professional athlete is very, very rigorous. Where a 10-year-old, remember being 10 years old, you can run around, play, as long as it made sense and you weren't doing repetitive jumps and sprints all the time, you're going to be healthy.
Jim, you're a longtime member of Major League Soccer. You started out with the LA Galaxy back in the early days. Member of the championship teams, of course. This league has changed in a big way.
Yeah.
You've seen that change. Where we were in '96 to where we are now in 2016. You tell me.
Well, certainly we have more teams,
Sure.
which is great, and we have more owners, and we have more stadiums, which is super for the fiscal responsibility of the league and for us to continue to be this wonderful league moving forward. I think from an athletic standpoint, it certainly has changed. If you look at the amount of the distance covered in a match is pretty similar to the way it was back in 1996. The big difference is the amount of distance covered at sprint speed. So the game is getting faster, and MLS is an incredibly athletic league. It is a rigorous with time. We have the time zones, 5-hour flights, customs when you go between Canada and the United States. Climate change. Yeah, if you're in Toronto in July, there's very little humidity. We play in Houston, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Just the distances, having the 3 Canadian teams is a big change, but overall physically it's a more demanding game at speed, and the athletes have to be more durable.
Jim, thank you for taking the time.
My pleasure, Joe. Always
Jim
great to see
Liston.
you.
Jim Liston, the Director of Sports and Science for Toronto FC here at Cal South TV.